Hi, good folks of YouTube. Hope you're all keeping well. It's Alan here from Physical Media Lives again. Just a quick update on the collection and some things that have been going on. Straight off the bat, just want to tell you about a very pleasant experience I had yesterday. I'm sure some of you follow Darren Sands on YouTube, as I have done for a while. Posted some fantastic content. Darren was actually in Dublin on a work trip yesterday and had the pleasure of hooking up with him for an hour and a half or so, and over what was supposed to be coffee, but Darren's version of coffee comes in a pint glass with black with a white head on top, and I knew I was in good hands when, on my way to the hotel I was meeting him at, he texted me to say he was at the bar. The man after my own heart. So your version of coffee, Darren, will always work with me. Darren would have been known as Mr. Sandsman on YouTube for a long time. He's just recently rebranded his channel to Only Sands. Really does some great innovative original content on YouTube. We all had a great time, a lot of us, with his countdown of the best 80s horrors, which ran for a good 3 months on Thursday nights, which was great fun. Really enjoyable. Darren told me yesterday about some exciting new stuff he has coming up on his channel, which I'm not going to divulge here, but what I will do is post a link to his channel in the comments and suggest you get over and subscribe, because he really does some good stuff. And if he ever asks you out for a coffee, don't say no. It's going to be enjoyable. Hope to see you again soon, Darren, and hope you had a safe journey home. And thanks for meeting up yesterday. And as I said, hopefully we'll do it again sometime. Okay, so collection wise, not a bad week. Some nice deliveries in the door, which I'm very happy with. So, as usual, I'd like to share those with you and hope you enjoy them. And please feel free to comment and like afterwards. It's always appreciated. And I always get back to any comments that are made, as you know by now. It's only the right thing to do. So, first off the bat, some of you already know how much I loved the new Frankenstein movie that came out recently from Guillermo del Toro, which is now streaming on Netflix. It's the world we live in, folks, I guess. But it got me on a bit of a buzz with Guillermo del Toro, so picked up a few things that. One of which was a recommendation, which I'll talk about shortly. First thing I picked up was it's Black Friday time, so I was checking on Amazon Ireland, and they had a really nice hardback book of the screenplay of the film. It's actually very nicely done. The screenplay is inside. I do like collecting screenplays from time to time. It's also got plenty of nice photos and stuff in it, so it was nice to have. It actually wasn't that expensive either. I think about 15 quid on Black Friday, so happy to add that to the collection. Movie wise, um, this film I'd actually been interested in for a while but never got round to it. The 4K was going for about €15 on the Black Friday option on Amazon Ireland, so I said, you know what, we'll go for it. There's no slipcover, unfortunately, but for 15 quid you can't complain too much, and it is on 4K and it comes with the Blu-ray as well, so I can't complain too much. The Shape of Water, for some of you would probably know, is basically Guillermo del Toro's homage to the classic Universal film The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I would suggest there's actually underlays of Frankenstein in it as well, but there are in a lot of his movies, because that obviously was his passion project. But it's a really nice movie, did exceptionally well at the Oscars when it was out a few years back. 4K transfer is great, so winner chicken dinner, 15 quid for 4K, can't go wrong. Next film I got is, it's a re-release version of a film he did a while back called Nightmare Alley, which I actually wasn't overly aware of. It's a remake of an old 1940s film. Bradley Cooper's the main star in it, but there's a stellar cast in it as well. The movie was recommended to me by my good mate Conor Gray in Australia. Figured I'd like it. Basically, Bradley Cooper's kind of like a con man mentalist that's involved with a freak show, and I won't really say any more than that because I haven't had the chance to watch it yet, because I only got it yesterday. But looking forward to it. It's been re-released because Guillermo del Toro always wanted to do it in black and white, and he finally got his wish, and it's been released on the Criterion label with a nice 4-disc set, 2 4Ks, 2 Blu-rays, black and white and colorized versions of on the 4Ks and on the Blu-rays, loads of special features. And to be fair, I'm critical of Criterion often about the fact that they don't really do much with their packaging. This is actually quite nice, quite nicely packaged, nice hardish sort of case. The movie's inside in a nice sort of media book format. Tons of extras, as I said too, so fair play. Hopefully that's something that we'll see them do next year with the Frankenstein movie, because I'd love a really good edition of that. But well worth getting. I'll give you feedback on the movie when I get round to watching it, but Connor's rarely wrong. And if he says I like it, then I'll be very confident that I will. So thanks for the tip, Connor, and hope you're keeping well, mate. Wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't have a chat about Hammer. And madly, it's been one of those years where you keep often wishing there was a break in releases because it's been so frenetic this year. And I thought we'd seen the last of Hammer releases this year, and in a way we have, because they have one more that went up for pre-order today, which I won't be bothering with, to be honest with you. It's one of the old 50s sort of pre-horror things that I don't really have that much interested in. But Studio Canal do have the rights to quite a lot of Hammer properties, and so brought out 2 releases in the last week or so that I've got my hands on. Look, in an ideal world, Hammer would have the rights to all their movies, all their characters, etc. But the reality is, and we all know, that the movie business is a game of politics and business as well as being an art form. So unfortunately they don't. The way I tend to look at it is, okay, ideally that's what you'd love, Hammer to be doing all their own releases and all those lovely collector's editions and box sets they've been bringing out for a while now, but the reality is they don't. So is it not better that they are actually released in some way rather than not being released at all? Now, we were lucky in the fact with the Curse of Frankenstein box set that they went into partnership with Warner's, and they both came up with great releases for this side of the world and for the American market, so everybody won in that regard. Who knows, maybe they had discussions with Studio Canal and they just couldn't come to any agreement, but Studio Canal have basically brought out their own 2 releases this week, which I picked up and have watched. First one is The Horror of Frankenstein. I was surprised, in fairness. The ad on Amazon, the pictures didn't really do it justice. It is actually quite a nice hard box, media style format, and styled with a decent book and some cracking. There's 2 movie posters, original artwork of the movie and newly designed poster work, which was nice to see. The original artwork is always nice. The posters are done really well, to be fair. Unfortunately, I record my videos on a phone, so I don't really have the screen capacity to show them to you, but you know, they're definitely well worth picking up. The Horror of Frankenstein was an attempt, I think it's about the 6th movie in the Frankenstein series, was an attempt to go on without Peter Cushing, who by that stage told Hammer didn't want to be involved with the character anymore. So it's kind of like a soft reboot, and it's a prequel of sorts. Actor Ralph Bates plays the part of young Baron Frankenstein. Well, he's not the Baron in it yet. His father is. He's not particularly nice to his father. I'll say no more than that because I don't want to ruin the plot of the film. But it's not a bad movie. It's quite enjoyable. The 4K restoration, Studio Canal have done a really good job on it, which they tend to do. They're usually quite consistent. Film is enjoyable enough, but from Hammer's perspective, it wasn't as successful as they hoped. It wasn't the reboot they were looking for. So they did do a 7th film, The Horror of Frankenstein, which Peter Cushing came back for. That was the last one in the series, and I've always said this before, there was an over-reliance with Hammer on the Dracula and Frankenstein characters. If you think about it, they only did one werewolf movie, The Curse of the Werewolf with Oliver Reed, which I think is a brilliant movie, so why that wasn't followed up on, I don't know. And they also did a wonderful zombie movie called Plague of the Zombies, again, the only zombie movie they did, and it had a great influence on George Romero, and we all know how good his zombie movies were, so I don't know, maybe they missed a trick somewhere. Having said that, I think the film's well worth having. The 4K transfer is really good, plenty of extras. You do get the Blu-ray as well, which really should be mandatory at this stage, so it's definitely well worth picking up in my opinion. That's The Horror of Frankenstein. The second release I was really excited for, because this is the first time that we've seen Christopher Lee as Dracula in 4K, and it's The Scars of Dracula. Ironically enough, this was also an attempt at a soft reboot of the character. All the previous stuff that had gone before was kind of dismissed. They kept Christopher Lee in the title role. Don't think he particularly wanted to keep going as the character, but he was a loyal guy to Hammer. He realised how beneficial Hammer had been to him in his career, so kind of felt compelled to come back. Little bit of emotional blackmail on their part as well too, I think, along the way. But you know, the thing about Christopher Lee was didn't matter what the film was, whether he wanted to be there or not, he'd always give a professional, consummate performance, and there's no exception to that here. I'd say of all the Dracula films, this is the one that I think he was the most evil, if you like, in the most blatantly evil. There was always a sophistication about the part when the way he played it before. It kind of goes out the window a little bit here. He's really downright nasty in it. Like there's a horrible scene with a heated sword and a fire that he does something nasty to his sidekick Clove, who's played by the great Patrick Troughton, who Doctor Who fans like myself will remember as the second Doctor, and particularly nasty. The film also stars Dennis Waterman, who people of a certain generation like myself will remember from The Sweeney and Minder. And a young lady, the female lead, is played by an actress called Jenny Hanley. And again, if you're old like me, you'll remember an old 70s and 80s kids magazine show called Magpie that she was one of the presenters of. She's the female lead in this. You know, it's an enjoyable film. Peter Cushing is always missed in my field, but to be fair, the cast all give decent performances, and by this stage, all the other vampire characters in Dracula films always got staked, that's how they were killed, but by this stage Hammer were trying to be inventive and come up with very different ways of getting rid of Dracula, or so you'd think at the end of the film. It's quite inventive the way they did it with this. It's an enjoyable film. I think by this stage, as they had done with the Frankenstein films, they just had overdone it with the Dracula films. There was still 2 or 3 more to come, but I think Christopher Lee only did a couple more. He didn't do the very last one, The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires it's called, and if you watch the film you'll probably understand why. But you know, it's a shame. But having said that, this film, Scars of Dracula, is definitely well worth having. My hope is, to the best of my knowledge, I think personally the best of the Dracula films is Dracula Prince of Darkness, which as far as I'm aware Studio Canal do have the rights to that, so hopefully they will release it in a nice box set like this as well, very similar to the Frankenstein set. It comes in a nice media book format. An original artwork poster, but they do have the original artwork from the movie poster as well. It actually looks really, really well. I think I might well look into framing it at some stage and getting it up on the wall. The completist in me gets annoyed when that happens, because you know I like keeping the sets together, but it's such a nice poster. Maybe we'll have a look at doing that in the future. Again, the 4K transfer is very good. It's an enjoyable film. Definitely plenty of film blood used in it, because there's plenty of blood to be seen in this. It's quite gory in places. Hammer in the 1970s and late 60s onwards kind of thought we need to get more gore and more cleavage and whatever into the movies to make them more appealing to people. I'm not sure that was the way to go, but look, this one's quite enjoyable. Dennis Waterman's actually really good in it, as is Jenny Hanley, and Christopher Lee, as usual, gives his usual consummate performance as the Count. Like, let's just face it, I know I'm not in the minority here. I do think he's the best screen incarnation of Dracula there ever was or ever will be, but maybe I'm a tad biased, and maybe someday somebody else will come along, but that day is yet to come. Anyway, that's the pickups for the moment, guys. Some nice additions, I think you'll agree. I do hope that you're all keeping well and enjoying movies and whatever, not working too hard this time of year, because obviously we're on the run into Christmas now. So I hope you're getting plenty of time to rest and watch the movies and keep yourself entertained. Please like and comment below. Love hearing from all of you, and we will chat again very soon. Hopefully have another video up soon, maybe 2 more before the Christmas madness ensues, but we'll see how it goes. But thanks for tuning in, and as I said, head over to Darren's channel and subscribe to it. I'll put the link in the comments, and thanks for watching. Take care.